When your identity is shaky, when you wonder if you really matter, he looks at you and says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you." John 15:16, not reluctantly, not accidentally, not temporarily, but eternally. He didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because he is perfect, perfect in love, perfect in mercy, perfect in faithfulness. You belong not because you perform, but because you are loved. That's his promise. I promise forgiveness to the guilty, to the ashamed, to the ones who carry invisible chains around their soul. Jesus says, "Come now, let us reason together. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow." Isaiah 1:18. He does not promise to rub your sins in. He promises to wipe them out. He doesn't remind you of what you've done. He reminds you of what he has done. At the cross he cried out, "It is finished." John 19:30, and that was a promise, that your debt was paid, that your shame was nailed to wood and buried in a tomb, that your record was erased by blood, not yours but his. And he says, "If you confess your sins, I am faithful and just to forgive you." 1 John 1. Not maybe, not someday, faithful and just. That's his word, that's his heart, that's his promise. I promise peace in the middle of chaos. Life shakes. Storms come. Loss knocks at your door. Fear creeps in while you're sleeping. And still, Jesus stands and says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives do I give to you." John 14:27. Not the peace of escape, but the peace of endurance. Not the peace of numbing, but the peace of knowing. Knowing that God is still in control. Knowing that God is still in control. Knowing that nothing can separate you from his love. Knowing that even in the fire you are not alone. You may cry, you may stumble, but you will not break, because his peace holds you. And he says again, "Do not let your heart be troubled." Why? Because he has overcome the world. John 16:33. That's not optimism. That's a blood-bought reality. I promise strength when you're weak. He never promised you'd feel strong every day. But he did promise this, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. You don't have to fake strength. You don't have to pretend. You just have to come, empty, broken, tired, and let him fill you. The same Jesus who carried a cross now carries you. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Even when you feel like you're barely crawling, he promises, "You will rise." I promise purpose in your pain. The world says pain is random. Jesus says pain is redeemable. He says, in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. Romans 8:28. Not some things, all things. Even the heartbreak, even the betrayal, even the unanswered prayers, waiting. He doesn't promise to remove every wound, but he promises to use every scar. Nothing is wasted in his hands. Nothing is beyond redemption. Even what the enemy meant for evil, Jesus says, "I will use it for good." Genesis 50:20. That is not denial of pain. That is the promise of divine purpose in the pain. I promise I will come again, and then there is one final unstoppable promise, the one history still holds its breath for. He said, "If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself." John 14:3. He is not gone forever. He is not silent. He is not distant. He is returning, to wipe every tear, to crush every lie, to bring heaven down to earth, to reign as King of Kings. And on that day, the sky will split open, and every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess, Jesus Christ is Lord. That's not fiction. That's not myth. That's promise. So stand on his promises when doubt whispers, when the darkness lingers, when the voices lie. You anchor yourself to this. Jesus doesn't change. He doesn't forget. He doesn't forget. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8. So no matter where you are today, no matter what you're facing, no matter how far you feel, the voice of Jesus still calls, "I promise you're not alone. I promise you're still mine. I promise this isn't the end. I promise I am with you always." Matthew 28:20. And when Jesus makes a promise, you can rest, you can rise, you can believe again. Because he is not just the promise maker, he is the promise keeper. He is the promise keeper.